The Keeper of Winter Lake, Nova Scotia, Canada, 1918. The lighthouse at Winter Lake stood at the edge of the world, or at least, that's how it felt to Clara McAdams, who had grown up listening to the sea as heartbeat and the creak of the beacon-neck as lantern. Her father kept the light that guided ships through fog and frost, while she tended to the hearth and read poetry by oil lamp, waiting for the long winters to pass. Each December, the lake froze into a perfect mirror of sky. Children skated across it, and fishermen drilled holes for their nets. But Clara's favorite part of winter came in the form of small wooden boats that drifted silently over the ice, their sails no bigger than her palm. They came from Elias Rowan, the village woodcarver, a quiet man with gentle hands and sawdust in his hair. He spent his days shaping oars and figureheads for the harbor ships, but in the stillness of winter, he carved tiny boats instead, offerings of patience and imagination. He often visited the lighthouse to deliver timber or bring fresh oil, and there, by the glow of the lamp, their friendship grew like light through fog. Clara admired the way he could turn rough wood into grace. He admired her calmness, the way she listened more than she spoke. One evening, as snow began to fall, he placed a miniature schooner on the frozen lake and said, "When the ice holds, our hearts don't drift apart." A month later, Elias was called to serve overseas in the Great War. Before he left, he handed Clara a small bundle, a promise sealed in pine and varnish. "I'll send you one of these each Christmas," he said, smiling. "A new boat to cross the ice for me." True to his word, the first arrived in 1915, a small brig painted blue, with her initials carved beneath the hull. The second came in 1916, green with a white sail and a note tucked inside, still floating. But in the winter of 1917, the lake froze later than usual. When Clara finally found a new boat gliding across the ice, it was unlike the others, painted entirely white, its mast bare and no letter enclosed. She waited weeks for word. None came. The war ended the next year, and the names of the fallen reached even her quiet shore. Among them was Elias Rowan. For a long time, Clara said nothing. She kept the white boat on her windowsill, where it caught the cold light of morning. Then, one spring, as the thaw came early and the lake began to crack, a group of villagers discovered something half buried in the shallows, a small hollow carved into the white boat's hull, sealed with wax. Inside was a folded note. The ink faded but legible. "If the lake ever shines again, know that my heart still crosses it." From then on, every winter, Clara placed a candle on the frozen lake, a single flame glimmering in the darkness. The villagers began to call her the Keeper of Winter Lake, and on still nights, when the ice caught the moonlight just right, people swore they could see tiny reflections, like small white sails drifting across the frozen water, carrying a love that had never sunk, only sailed quietly on.